This is water over toilet paper, and these are
Best films of 2023. We'll have two separate lists since we are two different people with different opinions. So I will tell my list and he'll tell his list and we'll compare and fight and argue.
This time we have a different edition where he has extra movies he likes, and I have like 5 less.
Honourable Mentions.
Porthalil by Vignesh Raja is a great crime procedural, Fincheresque approach to the crime procedural where it's all mechanical and very involved, and it's very, very well done.
RDX by Nahas Hidayat. This is a very fun action movie that's shot well. It has a decent enough story to care about the characters, and it's very fun. You can still watch it.
Good Night, directed by Vinayak Chandrasekharan. Very sweet, really touching rom-com drama about a man, but he has one problem, and that's his snoring. And his snoring wakes everyone up, and he just can't. And it's a very simple idea that's written out extremely well, explored in every which way and every which angle. And it's very touching and really sweet.
Good night.
There are two comedies from Telugu. One is Mad by Kalyan Shankar and Pareshan by Rupak Ronaldson. Both these movies are very fun. Both these movies are extremely entertaining. Pareshan, I would say, is a little better shot and better written. Mad is just feels like a bunch of skits, but it's just fun to watch.
Maamannan, directed by Mari Selvaraj. It's a very, very well done political thriller, extremely gritty and brutal in all the Mari Selvaraj ways. And it has a standout performance from Vadivelu, very touching, but the second half is kind of slow.
From Malayalam, I have 2018, directed by Jude Anthony Joseph. This is not as good as Virus. It is a little more cliched than Virus, but it is a good documentation of everything that happened during the 2018 Kerala floods, and it is a good human triumph story. Anyways, now coming to the main list.
I will sit quietly while he names 5 movies.
This is probably the biggest surprise for me of this year, and that is Salaar by Prashant Neel.
Guys,
I
he
did not.
did it.
I did
Did it?
I did not ever think I would like a Prashant Neel movie. If you guys don't know, I famously hated KGF 1 and KGF 2.
Karnataka
and,
hates this guy.
To this day, I still keep getting hate comments on my KGF review. I thought I will be in the same boat again, but I was surprised. Salaar is much better than KGF for me. Finally, someone understood how to use Prabhas properly. I actually gave a shit about all the different factions in Kansar and their political conspiracies and all of that. I am actually excited to watch the next part, and it's a good comeback for Prabhas and me also personally. Kida Kola by Tarun Bhaskar. This is a very, very funny movie. I really like Tarun Bhaskar because instead of going the route that a lot of promising directors go, where they keep making bigger and bigger movies, he is going in another route where he's like, yeah, I'll make more unique movies with even newer cast every time. I think this movie should have been much longer. This is the only movie which I had that complaint for. It has a lot of wacky characters. Tarun Bhaskar himself plays a very standout character. Great soundtrack by Vivek Sagar. Katal by Geo Baby. This is a slow moving drama about a homosexual man. I liked it much more than Great Indian Kitchen because it's not as loud and repetitive as Great Indian Kitchen. This is much more human and it's more understanding of even the other side of the argument. I'm very glad that a big actor like Mammootty took this role, and he really did a great job. And even Jyotika as his wife, and their relationship itself was very, very human and touching. Month of Madhu by Srikanth Nagoti.
This is not valid at all. This should have been an honorable mention at best, honestly.
But people have different opinions
That I cannot abide by.
I really enjoyed Month of Madhu. There are 2 stories in Month of Madhu. One clearly has more weightage in terms of runtime and even in terms of how much I like that story. Yeah. And the other story with the NRI lady, I just couldn't care about. I could have cut it off and I wouldn't matter at all. The main story of how this guy is not willing to get over the most toxic kind of man character.
And his character and their story was definitely the highlight of the movie.
I think it's a very promising debut. I just don't care about the NRI lady. Dada by Ganesh K. Babu. I don't think Dada is so high up on your list.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, okay. This, I think, has a great first half and a great ending and a comedy chunk second half that I do not care about. The first half is genuinely great. I thought I was going for a funny how irresponsible man will take care of a child movie. It is a much sadder version of that story. And then the second half transitions to this weird office comedy type setup, and I did not like it at all.
It's not
and then
so
it ends
weird,
really
but okay.
now you can start with your 10.
Wow, that's so funny because my 10 is Dada.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it wouldn't be so high up.
But I enjoyed it way more than you did, for sure. I think what made me appreciate it much more is that the entire comedy section and the rest of the movie, they have this very sweet, optimistic, very slice of life tone about them that was just so infectious and enjoyable to see. It's a pretty great debut. Can't wait to see what he does next.
Vidudalai by Vetrimaran. This is a very sad Vetrimaran movie.
This is one man against the system thing, except here it literally is a hierarchical system that they're forced to go through. This is something a very idealistic person enrolls in, and he's forced to reckon with what a quagmire the system is. And that twist of this idealist becoming that is very interesting and very well done.
It's very sad. It's just a bad vibe of a movie. And apparently the shooting is also a bad vibe to the crew. So the reason it is so lower on my list is because I think he needs to write a script first, then shoot.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't even need to write a script first. He just needs to inform his technicians what he's going to do at least like a week before or something. The Film Companion Directors Roundtable is eye-opening. They had no planning. He came up with an idea. I was like, the reason it is so low is simply because you cannot excuse
inexcusable
such.
How many flaws and technical flaws are there in
especially with other movies on this list that are some debuts with a quarter of the budget, and they look finished and good, and they don't look like one shot was shot on a camcorder and another was shot on an Alexa Red.
Even though we are shitting on this movie and all, I will still go and watch the second part first day first show.
First day first show, I am going to come out with depression
Again.
Yes.
Achar and Co, directed by Sindhu Srinivasamurthy. This is a story about Achar and Co. It's a big family set in Bangalore in 1960s. They have like 10 children, and it's about how all these 10 children lead their own life, and it's a very well done comedy and a movie about patriarchy, how the times were then and all of that, and it's really well done. It's a great debut.
Parking, directed by Ramkumar Balakrishnan. This is another great debut from this year. Two people get into a very petty fight over parking space, and that somehow devolves into this ginormous ego battle where they start fighting for life or death, and their lives are ruined because of this. It's a fantastic genre flick that is just fun as hell. And the presentation as well has a lot of fun, well done camera movements and sound design choices. Very, very entertaining. Very, very well done. My number 8 is a Marathi movie. First for
Hey,
me.
same number 8. Crazy. Crazy, oh yeah.
Same number 8.
Crazies.
It's Valvi.
By Paresh Mokashi.
We saw this completely by accident at a film festival, and it was one of the best accidents. It's a very, very well done dark comedy genre flick. It juices as much as it can out of a very simple suicide pact premise that goes horribly wrong. It is hilarious.
If you liked Andhadhun, you will definitely
You will
like
love
Valvi.
this. You will love this. The title of the movie, it doesn't make sense till the exact last shot, and the payoff is...
12th Fail by Vidhu Vinod Chopra. On the paper, it's a very cliché underdog story. The protagonist who wants to clear the very, very hard UPSC exam. It's so well done. You know what's gonna happen in the movie. You know it is cliché, but it's told in such a human way. It is so genuine. Vikrant Massey gives one of the best performances of the year. It is so heartbreaking, the losses he faces, and by the end it is genuinely inspiring, and I'm so glad it actually made money despite being so sad and all of that.
Restart.
My number 7, Joram, directed by Devashish Makija. It's a very, very gritty, very neo-realist drama about a tribal man on the run from the system we live in because he's being framed for something he did not do. And on his tail are the police, the intelligence networks, politicians. It effortlessly tackles this theme of nature versus development and the human cost it has, besides the philosophical cost it has. It's one of the few movies where I sat through to the end credits because I was so heartbroken the way it ended. I needed to know whether that was the ending or not. Animal by Sandeep Reddy Vanga.
Bad takes number 1. Feminist से friendship कर दिया हम.
But yeah, the first half of this movie was genuinely great. 9 out of 10. I didn't have many flaws with it at all. It has such flawless, fluid presentation that just flows. The editing and non-linear cutting was beautiful. The action was so enjoyable, the music was great, the writing was very effective and disturbing. It is such a tremendous second movie. It is larger than Arjun Reddy in every which way, size, scale, scope, theme, ambition, and it fulfills all of it to a T. The most effective part of this movie, besides that great first half, is the ending cut. That is a beautiful cut that says everything about the movie in one cut. One of the most memorable blockbusters to come out this year.
I have more to say when it reaches to my place.
My number 1 as misogynist supreme.
Hostel Hudigaru Pekaidare. I don't know how to pronounce it. By Nitin Krishnamurthy. This is the funniest movie of the year for me. It is so inventive. It is so creative. It never stops. It keeps throwing jokes at you. It keeps finding funny ways to present the jokes. It is so ambitious. It is incredible how many extras were there in every frame, and they were all so well coordinated. A very, very unique theatrical experience for me. And
my number 5 is Hostel Hudugaru Bekagidare. It has such an infectious, joyous energy that is just impossible to leave. It's such a good look at men, the most realistic look at men, specifically college-age men. Oh my god, it is accurate to a T. Some of these scenes are not even funny, they're just real.
For me, the weed boys were the...
Ganjedis in this movie are so accurate. Great comedies are rare, and this is one of them.
My number 5 is Mahaveeran by Madon Ashwin. This is a great superhero origin story. This is a very, very funny movie. Very, very well written script with very purposeful, setups and payoffs. It's very interesting how they use the artist becoming the hero he wanted to write about, and kind of puts a mirror towards artists who just create art out of tragedy, and it's like, what can you do about it and stuff like that. It's a very nice spin on like a superhero, where this guy is a superhero because he keeps hearing a voice, and the voice is himself only because he's the writer. It's very, very well done, and the voice is Vijay Sethupathi, which adds to coolness.
Wow, guys, my number 4 pick for this list is Mahaveeran.
This almost begs the question that we should have thought about the list before.
Yeah, we were just like, guys, I will surprise you, you surprise me. Funny, bro. Secret of comedy. Anyways, besides all the other positives he said, I think why I love it so much is simply because good to great superhero movies are something I genuinely love, and it is something we just are not getting nowadays. The script is brilliant. One of the best scripts of the year. It blends political commentary with class commentary, with the personal struggle of an artist and how he copes with life, with a superpower and a superhero story. It's so soul-fulfilling to see a genuinely well-executed superhero movie that's not cynical.
My number 4 is Animal by Sandeep Reddy Vanga. Adding on to all the things he said, I just didn't have that much of a problem with the second half. I actually liked the second half. There's only the Zoya pit that was very short. I saw it twice now, so I know it is not so long also, and I could just like mentally just like check off for a bit and come back, because the movie is long enough for you to make that like adjustment with yourself.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. You need like snacks and beverages and shit.
I think what Bharadwaj Rangan said about this movie is why it's so higher up in my list.
Amidst so many filmmakers whose work seems either boring or derivative or award seeking or critical approval seeking, this rawness, it's exhilarating.
The reason anything Sandeep Reddy Vanga makes has so much debate, unlike so many other
art house films that are frequently labeled as inciting commentary and speaking about the things no one speaks about, is because in Sandeep Reddy Vanga's 2 movies that he's done, he actually talks about something that is really true and really ugly, and it's hard to find that.
He does not shy away from the ugliness of it. He does not find a nice package to it to make it easy.
As much as we like to make fun of Arjun Reddy and Mr. Balbir Singh because they're both piece of shit people, the fact of the matter is there is some truth to them that we all have, I feel. And that's the only reason people keep going and sitting for this long of a movie.
Regardless of all the truth and the politics of the film and all of that, Sandeep Reddy Vanga is definitely one of the best filmmakers working right now. He has great command on performances, score, cinematography, editing.
He has very creative editing choices that keep the narrative fresh.
Ranbir Kapoor gave the best performance of the year for me. It is so good.
Our number 3 is Chitta,
directed by S.U. Arun Kumar.
Tale of an uncle and his niece and sexual assault, and I don't want to say anything more than that. And it's a genuinely well shot, extremely well written and well performed film. It tackles the subject from a multitude of angles, and these angles are so creatively written as arcs throughout the film, and it flows through these variety of arcs in such a fluid and seamless manner. The child performances in this film were fantastic. I do not know how they got the children to perform this well with such dark subject matter and such dark scenes.
And I think Siddharth, the producer, has to be really championed here, because it is such a bad time. No one would ideally want to watch this movie in a theater, but I'm glad he made the movie, and it is so heartbreaking.
Why Chitta stands out so much is the same reason why Gargi stood out so much, and it's because it actually takes its time and it puts in actual effort to create a world where you care about these characters before it starts throwing shit at them, so that shit actually hurts and means something.
There were so many points in the movie I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? This is just sad. I don't want to watch this. I don't like this subject matter. It is, and towards the end, you feel like this is coming to a predictable place. But it's like, no, I have more to say about this, and it will go on another angle which is again sad and dark and. Speaking of 2, it is Jigar Thanda 2, Jigar Thanda Double X by Karthik Subbaraj. It's fantastic. It is another banger from Karthik Subbaraj after Mahan. He is easily the best filmmakers working right now. He does not get enough credit. I don't know why. He does big movies with big stars which are great, doesn't get enough credit. Small movies with small stars, I just don't get it. But anyways, Jigar Thanda 2 is a fantastic film. It is a sequel to Jigar Thanda and a lot more. It is about the great power of cinema and art, the struggle between
filmmaker and the subject matter, destruction and nature, between gangster and filmmaker. The biggest strength of this movie is how many goddamn layers it has and how effortlessly it just balances all of it. It's incomprehensible to me that a human would write such a great script and make it so effortlessly enjoyable on so many levels. If you screen this film at an art house film exhibition, it will make sense. If you screen this film as a 4 a.m. masala blockbuster, it will still make as much sense somehow. The soundtrack is insane. The film also looks beautiful. Like all of Karthik Subbaraj's films, they have that unique look that he's crafted over the years.
S.J. Surya and Lawrence give career best performances.
It's so meta. It's so classy, it's so funny, and above all, it is so genuinely enjoyable. This is the kind of subversive, deconstructive writing and filmmaking that stands out over the majority. Because I think subversiveness and deconstructionism, they have a tag, which is that you need to be a bit cynical about it. You need to make it a little less happy and see the darker side of it. No, you don't. If you're clever enough, you can make it unironically enjoyable, ironically somehow.
There are multiple points in this movie where there's this thing called jumping the shark moment. In a story, this is the point where they make a very risque choice that has a lot of potential to fail. And this movie does it multiple points in multiple sequences, and every time he jumps, he works, he lands beautifully. If not for the number one movie, this is the most like enjoyable, like just like, wow, cinema is truly there, cinema is alive.
Yeah, honestly, this would have been my number one if not for number one. The best film this year
Is two movies.
No, it's not. It's one movie with two sides to the tape.
What? It is Saptasagara Dache Yellow Side A and Side B.
This is a 5-hour romance epic. That is one of the great romance films ever made.
This is the kind of movie that will stand out, like how people talk about like In the Mood for Love. I think people will talk about Saptasagara after 10 years, 20 years. People will like, it has the best soundtracks of the year. I've been spamming all the Saptasagara songs ever since I saw the movie. It has not stopped and it will not stop for a long time now. One of the best written movies of the year. It looks great and it's so purposeful. The amount of shots that have so much meaning and visual storytelling, it is,
The amount of purposeful filmmaking present in these two movies will put 10 films to shame. There is not a wasted shot or a wasted transition or just a mid for the sake of a mid. There is so much purpose to all of it. It feels good to see that. I am convinced you can watch this without the sound and you can still get a great experience out of it. It also has my two favorite performances this year from Miss Rukmini Vasant and from Mr. Rakshit Shetty as Manu and Priya. Priya stole the show in Side A for me and Manu stole the show in Side B for me. Side A especially, their romance and their chemistry is so palpable with no meet cute or anything really. You just kind of see them existing.
Within the first 5-10 minutes, I would say, like you are already on the side of the couple within the first 5-10 minutes.
And not just that, the first 5 to 10 minutes of Side A sums up Side A. And the first 5 to 10 minutes of Side B sums up Side B. How do you do that? That's insane. Rukmini Vasant's portrayal of Priya is just so sweet and so full of that silent strength. The trials she has to face are just so painful. And Manu's breakdown of innocence from Side A to Side B is so hurtful to see what he turns into in Side B. You don't even care. You don't even root for him in Side B. And yet he's still the Manu from Side A somehow. Incredible performances throughout Side A and Side B. It has that unique breed of cinematography where the colors just seem to occur inside the shot. There's no tinting, there's no painting the shot in a certain light. It looks like they just found these places in real life.
And somehow both the movies have distinct cinematography styles as well. Side A is much more lively and natural and Side B is much more rustic and neon lit and grungy.
They didn't shoot it in any dreamlike scenario or dreamlike setting a la 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 Land, you may think, where wow, it's a dream and it's so magnified. This looks like the places you and I would see in real life, that we may have seen in real life.
Yeah, I saw so many prisons.
Yeah, all the real life places were outside the prison, I mean. Somehow they look poetic and magical.
There's so many layers to this movie, just like Jagatanda, which are all done effortlessly. You can see it as a romance movie, the tragic love story. You can see it as a character study of Manu and Priya, and you can also see from the angle of the philosophy of the movie about like capitalism and power and all of this. It's all told in like this beautiful poetry where if you just want to see the movie for its poetry, you can see it like that, and it works in all these levels.
Side B has its own strengths and its own themes, particularly about revenge, and somehow Side B has badass character moments in it. It is so poignant where the story ends and how it concludes. It somehow is something you can predict at the end of Side A, yet you're completely taken aback by surprise when you see how the two stories intertwine in Side B and where it ends. The ending of Side B is beautiful, poignant, and so goddamn bittersweet.
It fulfilled me.
I don't know what he's talking about. It fucking destroyed me in pieces. I'm scared to see the first part again. He's seen it 3 times, I think. I don't even know how.
It destroyed me in the sense of like the story is so tragic, but it fulfilled me as like someone who
masochist.
appreciates films, and it's just like it genuinely makes you feel like cinema is alive.
Everyone needs to watch this.
And that's it for the list.
There'll be more videos this year. Soon, not sure.
There will be more videos for sure. Happy New Year, everybody, and yeah, that's it. Bye bye.